take a shot of I don't care what you're doing now. Chase that one with a cold screw you. When that's done, I just might wash it down with a big picture of someone new. That blonde, blonde, blonde at the bar, bar, bar. See if she wants to try and unbreak my heart, heart, heart. There's a neon light at the end of the tunnel.
Red, red, redneck.
Red, 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 redneck. Well, the boys around here don't listen to the Beatles run. Old Bo Cephas threw a jukebox needle at the honky-tonk where they boot stomp all night. What? Yeah, and what they call work a digging in the dirt. Gotta get it in the ground before the rain come down to get paid, to get the girl and your four-wheel drive. Yeah, the boys around here drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back, shoot her back, shoot her back a spit. Oh, heck. Well, the boys around here, they're keeping it country. Ain't a damn one know how to do the Dougie. No, I'm not in Kentucky, but these girls around here, yep, they still love me. Yeah, the girls around here, they all deserve a whistle. Shaking that sugar sweet as Dixie Crystal. They like that yawling southern drawl and just can't help it 'cause they just keep falling for the boys around here. Drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back and shoot her back and shoot her back a bit.
Let's ride through the countryside. Let's ride down to the hillside.
Hey now girl, hop inside. It's me and you gonna take a little ride to the river. Let's ride. That's right. Lay a blanket on the ground. Kissing in the crickets is the only sound. We out of town. Have you ever got down with a do you wanna get down with a girl, you gotta get down with the boys around here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back and shoot her back and shoot her back. I'm one of them boys around here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back and shoot her back.
Sure.
Shoot her back a spit.
Chew tobacco spit.
I am
Welcome to the WINGIT call. Today is July 1st, and who'd have thunk we'd have been here, 2016. Take a knee, Pastor. Please take it away.
Father, we ask you to bless this time. Lord, let truth come unhindered, strength and help and wisdom for every person. We thank you for it now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Art, I muted you because you are unmuted, so I'll unmute you here in a second. The recording is going. Disclaimer is as follows. We are not attorneys, financial advisors, CPA, or any form of legal advice. We are not. This is our opinion on this call. We've been around for a little while, have a pretty good grasp of what we think is good, sound advice, and that's all we are talking about is our opinion. And with that, and the rest of the disclaimer, please go to thewingitcall.com, click on the disclaimer tab, and there's the rest of the disclaimer. We'll go ahead and let Art go first here, and then we'll get into some other stuff. And before I do that, I don't know if I want to continue doing the show or not. My wingman is not feeling well, and you never go flying without your wingman. I'm depressed, but it's okay. I stayed at a Holiday Inn last night, and I think I can continue on. So I'm pulling for my wingman to get better. So he's not here today. So I'm sorry to say I'm going to have to answer the questions for him. Much to y'all's disappointment. Hope I do well. Art, take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. Pastor, yourself, and everybody listening. Today's a beautiful day. Get out and enjoy it. I don't have any intel. Everything is pretty much said and done yesterday, I believe, on everything that came out. Today is very, very quiet. I've heard nothing from nobody. So I think that's a good sign. And they did say that because it is the first and the next quarter's beginning, everything has to be done. So we're just kind of waiting on that. Oh, whoever's going to send out the notifications, that's all we're waiting on. So that's all I got. Everybody just have a great day and look forward to it. Bye.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to go ahead and mute you out. Well, let's see. Where did they go? I've got a caller today that has not per se current intel, but they do have to let you know that they were personally, well, I'm going to let them explain it to you so that you have an understanding. So, Kentucky, you're unmuted. Come on down.
Hi there, Jerry. And I guess let me fall under your disclaimer, too. And add to that, I didn't even stay at a Holiday Inn last night, but I will be more than happy to share my experience. And the additional addendum to my disclaimer is I frankly don't care whether anybody believes this. The purpose for me sharing this, I hope, is to bring calm to us denarians and currency holders so that they realize this is a real deal we're involved in. And every time someone tells me if this happens, I strike that through and I say no when it happens, because it is going to happen. So you want me to go ahead and just start sharing?
Absolutely, and I agree with him. None of us are getting paid for this. He is sharing his personal experience and the personal experience of somebody that he knows well to let you know that this is not disinformation. This should lift your spirits up and let you know that the people out there in the banking system actually know what's going on. I'll stop right there. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and there's a whole lot of people that have been in this a long time, Jerry, I'm sure. And I've been in this since December of 2013 when I was first gifted dog by my family. And but if anybody can really feel hurt, it ought to be people like me who actually had an exchange appointment in October of last year, only to get within days or hours of it to have it canceled and to know that I was that close. But the refreshing part of it, and I'll share the timeline actually, after talking with some other people, I decided to go back to my notes and refresh my memory of the timeline that occurred and the insanity that's going on in the background of all this. Just so everybody out there knows, the bankers are going through this just like us. I'm a firm believer. They are being whipped at the end of the rope just like we are. So what happened with me, been in it, like I said, since 2013. At which point, when I saw the value and did my own personal research and saw the validity of the upcoming not only RV in Iraq, but entire global reset, I started every month just taking a little bit of money and buying some and gifting it to more people. So I'm going to call this the key person. I'll call her my stepsister. She is a very close friend of mine. We're not actually technically related, but we might as well be half brother, half sister. On September 30th of last year, I got a text from her. I got some exciting news. Call me as soon as you can, because I had gifted her some dong, I should say, by the way. And so I called her, and she said, "You won't believe it," but she says, "I've been called into the bank because they already had a wealth manager." And let me just say, this was the Fund Trust Bank, and you would all be shocked to know this isn't a big SunTrust in Atlanta or New York City. This is a little tiny bank in the middle of nowhere. And so she was contacted by her wealth manager to say, we want to set up an appointment to exchange your dong. We will offer you a rate of $2.38 for the dong. The Zimbabwe rate was 23.5 cents after taking off 6 zeros for the 100 T note. And the dinar, I didn't write that down, but I want to say it was like 370 something, 380 something, around that. I didn't pay attention to that per se because I didn't personally own any dinar. But it was on par with the rates that we were hearing quoted from a lot of intel sources and, quote, bank sources. So, but this was the first time that I was actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. So that was September 3rd. So she then, by October 7th, had an appointment actually set up for October 9th to actually exchange. And at that time, a lot of the intel sources and gurus were saying that the banks were now doing test cases to make sure the system worked. So apparently she was falling into this category of, let's bring you in. She only had 300,000 dongs, so she wasn't like a shark or a whale, as they call them. She was just going to simply be a test case. Let's test the system. Let's get it going. Well, I politely asked her, I said, well, is there any chance, doesn't hurt to ask, I said, would you ask your wealth manager if he would be willing to include me and my family in back-to-back with you? And so she asked him, and he said, yes, absolutely. So we were going to be the follow-up after her. And so October 9th was her appointment. Well, suddenly the appointment got canceled. And the excuse given by the wealth manager was that he had a death in the family. And I'm by no means saying he didn't have a death in the family. But this was at the time, I don't know if you remember back in October of last year, we were at one of those about like where we're at now, very heightened state of this is going to happen in the month of October, so that we can roll into the Christmas and Thanksgiving season and New Year with this newfound money in the system. And so it was really highly expected, but that was followed by a whole bunch of confusion within the intel of what was going on. So that happened. Then it was rescheduled again for October 12th, but then at that point, that one was canceled too, and then started to follow days of silence. And she was like calling, well, when are we going to reschedule? When are we going to reschedule? And then I got a hold of the wealth manager just to make sure everything was still on track and got the quote, because the rates, make sure they were still at what he quoted, and he absolutely, I told him, this is for everyone out there who has any doubts, how refreshing it is to talk directly with a banker who doesn't treat you like you're crazy. We were able to openly talk about the revaluation and the rates and the dropping of the zeros on the Zim and all that stuff. Everything that y'all have been hearing from the intel sources is absolutely true. And so I thanked him, and I said, I'll be patient. I'll patiently watch my emails for an update of when we'll have an appointment and all that. Well, then on October 19th, the screens went blank. And I don't know if you remember at that time, but sources were saying, and I will tell you a lot of my prime sources at that time too were Tony in D.C., they were saying that their bankers were looking at the screens and for the first time seeing a date next to the new values, and that date was October 20th through the 25th. So just to confirm how accurate our intel is coming from you guys, the wealth manager himself contacted Lisa, my stepsister, and said, just so you know, be prepared to come in anytime after October 20th. So everything's falling in line. We're all expecting the week of October 20th through the 25th, as we keep hearing from all the intel sources, that this thing is finally going to go down. Then came followed with silence again, and weeks of it. And she's like, she can't get them to return her call. I can't get them to return any of my messages. And then at that point, the intel coming out of the intel community was, I remember the call to this day. Tony got on and said, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we're seeing bank memos now saying that the smaller banks have been kicked out of the exchange program. And coincidentally, right at that same time, we finally got a response from the wealth manager, who sent it to me, and I sent it to my stepsister, that said, we regret to inform you we no longer have authority to exchange these currencies, and we wish you the best of luck in the future finding a place to exchange. And that ended that. And like I said, just to be that close to the finish line, the smell of victory and the agony of defeat.
Well, and this is just to let everybody know he was directly involved. So they were giving him a rate. So this should bring hope to the people that were a little concerned that this was a scam. The problem is we don't know what the timeline is. In Kentucky, if that's it, I'm going to go ahead and mute you out, and we'll come back to you here in a little bit, okay?
Yes, that sounds great, Jerry.
Thank you. So where are we at? That's a darn good question. Some people on another call saying point blank that, there were some bonds that had to go by midnight last night, because if not, there were going to be some great consequences. I even had hope on that. Well, it didn't happen. But now I want to say this. A couple weeks, 2-3 weeks ago, I had a sneaking suspicion, and I mentioned on the call that it was probably going to be the start of the third quarter. My quote was, out with the old, in with the new. So now we're in the new quarter. This is just my personal opinion. Let me look at my calendar here. Be great if it went over the weekend. They say they want a 3-day weekend. They didn't say whose, so we've got a 3-day weekend coming up. And I've seen all kinds of quotes about bank personnel or exchange personnel to bring your clothes, tell your family you're going to be out of pocket for 48 hours, you won't be back till the 4th. I had my hopes, but I have to stay grounded. And I went, well, okay. That didn't come through. So this is just my theory, that if international banking things take place, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so that's July 5th, 6th, and 7th. I say that so everybody will just relax, have a nice weekend. If it happens during the weekend, well, we're going to be able to shoot off more firecrackers. So there's that part of it. Now, I'm going to be a little harsh right now, so forgive me, but anybody that thinks that it's all about Iraq and that Iraq drives this has their head in the sand. I'll repeat this, has their head in the sand if they think that it's all about Iraq. Now, Iraq plays a great importance in this, but the reason that Iraq is being held back, they're being told, no, not yet. Why? This is my opinion. Iraq, we've all been told, is an asset-backed currency. Now, we know that China is asset-backed, but they're not official yet, not till October 1st. We've seen that in ink. If Iraq was to come out with their currency, it's asset-backed. Well, that throws a monkey wrench in the whole thing. This is just my opinion. And at that point, where do you think everybody's going to flock to? Right now, it's my opinion that since nobody wants the dollar, and the petrodollar is dead because everybody is starting to has made backroom deals to use the yuan for trading purposes. Petrodollar is dead, which in turn is making the fiat dollar even more worthless. I wish my wingman was here, but maybe somebody out there that's listening has some friends, family, or knows co-workers or somebody that works at the ports that can tell us how is the shipping doing, the container ships coming in from overseas. I think that there's some type of embargo on against us, but it's ever so quiet. Now, the ships get paid to move whatever they want, but it's the product that hits the shores that is, how's it being paid for? Does anybody want the dollar? It's kind of iffy at this point. And also, we hear that Iraq has announced the tariffs at their borders. Okay, great. I'm loving that. Now there's a term called FOB, meaning free on books, and that usually is a 30-day. So the ships come in, they're paid to haul it from point A to point B. Now the product gets offloaded. That's where the tariffs come in place. And whoever's product it is has 30 days to pay up. I know that puts us to August 1st, but I don't think we're going to be that long. So again, Iraq, when they come out, will have an asset-backed currency, and we can't have that just yet. The dollar, it's being held off. We have TRNs out there that are used probably on the country international behind the scenes, but we're not asset-backed until we have our lower denominations freely out in public, meaning from the $20 bill on down. Now, this new $100 bill, they say that it's asset-backed. Okay, I can live with that. But I think we're going to have a new $100 bill. My personal opinion, I think we're going to have a new $100 bill when all this is said and done that what doesn't say Federal Reserve on it. It all should say UST on it, or a Treasury note, or whatever you want to put to it. This is just my thoughts. I wish that Iraq had a bigger play in it, but Fallujah, we now know that 2-3 weeks ago, a body raised a flag in Fallujah, but it wasn't told about here. Our news was still talking about how we're there. It's in dire straits in Fallujah. Mosul is even free. I think even Frank 26 has talked about that, but we still, according to our news, it could be, another year, which makes me chuckle. Let's think about this. We go to war with Iraq. We send all our troops over there, and what, in a week, it's over. We're in, we've taken control, and then there's the mop-up that takes, a couple more months. But we've had troops in there, what, a year or two now, trying to clean up all this stuff after we left? I smell a rat. Politics. Questions. Let me get to the questions. Like I said, Wingman is under the weather. So what I'm reading here, oh yeah, *2 to raise your hand if you want to ask a question. That is *2 to raise your hand. Question 1, Iko, would you refer to me the section of 13303 which guarantees us equal rates given to the PTB? If you read it closely, it's worded, but it doesn't come out and specifically say we're guaranteed it. They do it in political speak talk. Question 2, Iko, will the emails you mentioned on Monday's call have the 800 numbers for Wells Fargo exchange centers for states that Wells Fargo does not have a commercial bank presence? Don't know. They won't give us the game plan. So we're stuck on the outside looking through the keyhole at a big 100-foot square room, and all we can see is just a little 2x2 area where the light shines on it. They don't want us to know the total rules to the game yet. And even then, once we're in the door, that's still in question of how much they'll let us know. Hold on. My question is, what is your real expectation for this never-ending story to end? Are we waiting for the new USN money to be released? Are there still some issues with other countries to be resolved? Could you please let us know if the Zim will still be included in the basket with Dinar and Dong? Yes, it will. I believe we're waiting on the announcement for our USN. There's a lot of things. Everybody needs to be on an asset-backed currency. That's what the GCR is about. Are there issues with other countries to be resolved? Probably till the end of time. Nothing will ever be exactly perfect. Sometimes you just need to rip the Band-Aid off, let it bleed, mop up the blood afterwards. Question 4. There's a lot of disinformation. One site was stating only a selected group of private groups will get in an RV. If you're not part of a private group, you will not see this RV GCR come to fruition in your life. Everybody's going to get a chance to exchange. If you're holding currency and it's legitimate, they can't stop you from exchanging. You just may not get the highest rate you want. What do you know about private versus public? Are we considered private or public? Have you heard this information before? What is your take on private versus public groups? Where do we stand? You know, I still think it's the shotgun approach. It's either everyone at once or nobody. SKRs have been given, but they're not liquid. So nobody's been paid yet, contrary to what you have heard out there. And they've held this up for that reason. Nobody's been paid. Now, it would be illegal, and if they get caught, they could get in big trouble. But if an SKR is given, you know, they could give a line of credit. That would not be good. There are many ways around that, but there's also laws that cover that too. So just want you to think about that. Nobody goes before anybody else unless you're part of that group that's so high up there that you'll never know what's going on in the first place. Oh, that would be somebody that's under investigation for emails. Question 5. Can you tell us where we are in the SIP system starting today? The last that we heard, the SIPS system was overlaid with the SWIFT system, and they're operating the same, so there is transparency. I thought that the SWIFT system would be totally kicked out, but no. They've overlaid the SIPs on top of it to track what's going on. Question 6. It's been stated hundreds, if not thousands of times, it's done, we're here, it's tonight. My question is, could there be anything else lurking in the next days or months that can continue to hold this up? Yes, obviously, because we're not there yet. I'm not making light or spite of your question, just answering it honestly. I mean, who even was talking about the Brexit 2 months ago? Yet many state after the fact it had to happen to speed up the RV. Any other unknown exits, troublesome SIPs, glitches, etc.? Well, yes. But the longer this goes, the pressure that's being exerted. Let me back up here. The U.S., if we are the holdup, the economic pressure being put on us is pretty tremendous. China, Bank of Japan wants out underneath of the control that we exert over them. So they want to stand on their own too. They want their own currency. Well, I'll bet you China has been talking to some people over there to try to make that happen. Lots of politicking going on. Think of it. Ooh, hold on there. Somebody's unmuted. Okay. Hello, testing. There we go. I think that's okay now. So we all know how politics works at the conventions when we're voting for a new president, a lot of politicking going on behind the scenes. Think about that, but on a grand scale. You know, one person over here whispering, hey, come over here and vote with me, or let's support this. Same thing. I'm just trying to break it down real simple, because that's how I think, simple. Let's see. Question 7. I'm glad things continue to move forward, and I can hardly wait until it's all done. The situation reports we are getting are very positive and informative. However, until the United States, by whoever, Brian, Obama, etc., makes the announcement, we can't exchange, right? Well, that's the million-dollar question. We hear there has to be an announcement, but there's not going to be a public announcement like you think. It would send shock waves through the entire U.S. population. Right now, maybe 1.5%, 2% know about this. But of course, as every day goes by, a few more get in there. Is there any confirmation, this is question 8, is there any confirmation of people exchanging the 08 or 09 ZIM? Nope. The reason for the question is that there's a group out there saying they have direct contact with the elders, and they are the only place to exchange these currencies. I know a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people, and I have yet to hear that one. I got kicked off of my own call. Darn it. So, question 9 is, first, I never believed in the sovereign rates or a $10 rate. However, some respected gurus are expecting three digits on the Zim, while others are expecting less than 5 cents. I know that you can't give a rate, but can you point to a logical range? 3 to 5 cents, 11 to 20 cents, $1 to $5. Well, you heard the guy earlier, Kentucky, say that, back in October, that the bank SunTrust was willing to give him 23 cents for the Zim with 6 zeros lopped off. So, and that, if the bank is giving you that, then I'd say those rates are pretty good. Question 10. I have heard wildly contrasting reports about what is going to happen to the gold prices. Could you comment? Nope, because I have no earthly idea. That would be somebody over on Nancy's call that talks about that. I have no knowledge. Question 11. With prices based on fiat dollars, do you believe they will readjust to actual value within a year or sooner? Yes, when we go asset back, yes, there will be an adjustment. I think anywhere from 6 months to a year. Question 12, and then we'll start taking callers. If someone has a trust already and it's full of tax-deferred state bonds, with the bond market threatening to collapse, what would you advise? Oh, not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole. Sorry, that's advice I can't give. All righty then. Not very many people raise their hands, so here we go. Oh, well, on the call, I am me. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's all about me. That's the way everybody acts.
Yes, ma'am.
You asked a question earlier.
No, that wasn't me. That was my evil twin brother.
Right. Okay. Something about ICO and the shipping ports in Nogales. I don't know a thing about Nogales, but if your listening audience and all your fans will go to YouTube and enter the search term, let me look, global reset near, U.S. ports reopen. Now this is West Coast, and that might be a delight for you to take a look at. But evidently within the last week and a half, they are bringing in freight on the boats West Coast.
Well, I never said anything about Nogales, but thank you for that little tidbit.
I was just saying,
if anybody had friends, families, or coworkers that could shed some light, maybe ask questions about what's going on either coast in the ports.
Okay.
And that helped out right there.
Absolutely. You have a good day. Thanks for everything. And it's not about me.
Are you sure?
That's a joke.
We can make it. I love about me.
Well, I got kicked off one call because I told him my name was Mimi. So me. Anyway, thank you. And I hope that helped. Global reset near, U.S. ports reopen. That's West Coast. Thank you.
On YouTube?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Chico, California. 530. Come on down.
Yeah, I was wondering if you had any information about DNR Corps and the disposition of their legal matters.
Who? Say that again, please.
DNR Corps and the lawsuit that they have against them.
Oh, no, I have no idea about that. Even if you ask about Sterling, which I have some knowledge, I can't answer that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Be on the web.
Hey, Jerry.
you doing?
You stated about the SKRs. Were you saying that it was illegal for the banks to do that?
No, what I said was that if somebody had SKRs, it could possibly be illegal if they tried to, the banks would do collateral on SKRs, especially if it's just dinar, which is not international. It's still a collector's item? No, that would only be the Zim. That's what I said.
Okay, I misunderstood. No, I was just curious because the banks, are they supposed to be still in charge of this thing?
Well, I would hope not, but, all wars are banker wars. The Rothschilds are bankers. The Rockefellers are bankers. So if you want to look at it in those terms, they could be in charge.
Well, yeah,
We
I'm
don't
just
know.
asking.
We truly don't know who's in charge.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because the only time this thing seems to work okay is for friends and family of the bank.
There you go.
All righty.
Anything
Have
else?
yourself a good one. Have a happy 4th of July.
You too. Blue Moon. Now, the last 3 of your phone number in Port St. Lucie is 990. Come on down.
That right now, this call.
Hello.
Okay.
Port St. Lucie.
So whatever she is going to do it, like they go soon or whatever, give it a part
Hey,
of
Charlie. Yo.
Okay. Yes. Just a minute, Jerry. Jerry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. Can I take this call?
Sure.
Yes, sir. You muted yourself. Hello. Well, he's still there. Yeah, we'll come back to him. Nashville. 615. Come on down.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. First time caller, and I want to thank you and Iko and everybody for everything you've done. I just want to relate an experience that I think comes in with what you were talking about a moment ago about the SWIFT system and the SIP system. I was in Regions Bank on Wednesday of this week, and I needed to send a couple of wires out of my business account. So I was in with my banker, and he was apologizing because it was taking so long. And I go, well, what's the problem? He goes, well, he says the Regions Bank did a whole update, and this isn't normal. Everything is in different positions. I don't understand it, but, here it is. Anyway, we did the paperwork, and he started writing down a confirmation number. He goes, that was quick. And bottom line was those 2 wires went out almost within 2-3 minutes of one another. And he goes, my gosh, it's already left our bank. I said, you mean it's out of my account? He says, no, it's not only out of your account, it's also out of Birmingham where all our wires are. He turns the screen around, and I see it. Leave the bank, and about 15 minutes later, I get an email from the business that I sent these wires to saying the money was already in hand, and that never happens. It's always 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever it is.
Did you send it overseas or still domestic?
No, it was still domestic. But I will tell you this. I received into the same account an international wire, also the same day. And I got confirmation in the morning that it was being sent from the people sending it to me, and it was about 9:30 in the morning Central Time that I got a confirmation from my bank, which is Regions, that it was in the account, and it was, which is not normal. I'm just emphasizing that it is now the speed of lightning, and it's totally different than what it used to be from a month or a year ago. That's all.
Well,
just FYI.
Well, that's a nifty little piece of news. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
That was all on Wednesday. No, that was all on Wednesday.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Star 2 to raise your hand. Grand Prairie, Texas. Come on down.
Hi, Jerry. How you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Last Friday, Iko was talking about how either his opinion or the information he got for us to receive our confirmation, and he was insinuating through emails. I just got on the call, and you may have already covered this. If not, by me emailing you, are those saved where that information can get back to me through that email or not?
I don't know. This is one of those questions that I truly don't know.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Hunting, buddy.
Raleigh, North Carolina, 919. Come on down.
Mr. Jerry, how you doing?
Good, sir. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Hey, I just want to wish everybody a very happy and safe 4th of July. Jerry, what's the date and the rate?
Well, let me answer that for you. Did you catch that?
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, I believe it was your call that you said there is no more sovereign rates, or somebody did. Do you know anything about that, or if you do, can you explain a little bit farther on that?
Well, no, Art is the one that said there was no more sovereign rates. Here is, again, we don't know the game plan. They don't want us to know the game plan. And as children that we are to listen. We're to be seen and not heard from until it is time, until we're called upon. And at that point, we need to be flexible with everything that we know, and that's what I can't stress that enough, to load your depends up before you get there, change it out, have all of your moments before you get there, take a deep breath, no alcohol. Don't be smoking a doobie before you go in the door either, because they don't want to smell some dope head, because I'm pretty sure if you try to do that the dope dog is going to kick you out. So do everything that you're going to do and be level-headed when you go in to the best of your ability. That way.
I'm so thankful to be here.
Sir?
I'm just thankful to be here. I had a heart attack in February, so I'm, so happy to be in the game.
Absolutely. And we're glad you're still here.
6 feet above is much better than 6 feet below.
As I say, pushing daisies. All righty, sir. Anything else?
Have a good for it. No, that'll do it for now. Hopefully we won't talk to you next week.
Oh yes, and I'm being screamed at right now to inform everybody that next Monday I will not be here. I'll be here Tuesday, July 5th, but I won't be here July 4th. Let me see, what will I be doing? Oh yeah, drinking Blue Moon. Outside in the I'll be outside with the Redneck Grill having, I have thrown all of my Teflon pans to the curb, and I have went back to cast iron. And so I'll be out there in the redneck grill, grilling potatoes and onions and hamburger all together, and it is so tasty. And then, especially when the onions are down at the bottom of that cast iron pan and they get real brown and black and crispy, oh, those are so tasty. Now that's redneck.
Wipe them up with a tortilla.
Sir?
You wipe them up with a tortilla. Oh, they're so good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got a 2-burner campfire burner set up outside. You know what? I'll take a picture of it and show you how redneck I am and post it on my webpage. I got my propane tank and my hose hooked up because it's too darn hot to cook in the house, so I cook out back. So.
All right. Hey, happy 4th.
You too.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Columbus, Ohio, 614. Come on down.
My question is the petrodollar still exist, and is the Federal Reserve really closed?
Well, they're still officially functioning in the public view. They might be closed behind the scenes. We don't know for sure. We've heard so many different versions. And the petrodollar,
yes.
Watch what they're doing. Everybody's moving away, and they would rather trade their oil for something with substance like the yuan.
Okay. Now, last year this time we was in the same position, and nothing happened at that time. Is it a great possibility that this time it should be it?
Well, I've got my fingers crossed. That's why we're here.
Well, I have my fingers crossed with you, so I'm just hoping everything comes out this weekend.
That would be helpful, but I have a sneaking suspicion that we probably won't hear anything until after our blessed holiday is over.
Gotcha. Okay, those are all the questions I have. In the meantime, have a great holiday.
You too. Bye-bye. Let's try this again. Charlie, are you there?
Jerry, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Let me turn my fan down in the car. Okay, is that better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking my call. I'm sorry it just dropped out before. I don't know why, but it did. Okay.
Well, go ahead.
I know you got a lot of people on the line. You had a reference to a conversation with Iko, I think on Monday, regarding the Executive Order 1303. But you did talk about that earlier in this call. My question was basically, I thought the implication of his conversation was that the value given to an individual exchange had to be equivalent based on the equivalent value of the amount that they basically were exchanging. In other words, somebody with 100,000 dinar would get the same rate as a PTB, so to speak, versus if they had 100,000. We're not saying that somebody with 100,000 would get the same as a whale. And I think you made the statement today that was correct. People would be comparably treated if the amount of their currency was about the same. Am I right?
Well, let me see if I understand. I'm a little confused, but everybody should get the same international rate. What would be different is if when we start talking about a contract rate that they might offer you. But everybody...
That's what we're talking about, the contract rate. I know the international rate, everyone has to be basically the same, would be X number of dollars per...
Well, there's to answer your question is we won't know what the contract rates are, or we'll call them a higher rate. because we don't know.
Right.
And if you're a whale, you'll never know the rate they get.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Can I get one more question in?
Sure.
Okay. There's been a lot of what I call preaching about this whole activity is to make the world a better place and bring everybody up, and it's all been backed by the Chinese elders and this, that, and the other. My question is, what has been said that anybody knows of about what the Chinese elders are doing for the Chinese people? Because I lost my business to the Chinese because they just undercut me on every single deal we tried to do worldwide. And that was all currency manipulation and keeping the people in China, paying them less than subsistence wages. So I want to know, are they going to practice what they preach at home?
We hope. That's what this is about anyway, but we won't know till this goes down.
Yeah, and nothing has been said about that particular point, has it?
I understand. I can't answer it.
Yeah.
I know. I
You're
know.
right.
We're listening. All righty, sir.
Thank you very much, Jerry, and for all the stuff you do. It's really terrific and very well organized.
Thank you, sir. Homestead 786, come on down. Hello, Homestead.
Hey, Jay, how's it going? Hey, quick
Pretty
question.
good.
I'm all right. Quick question. I heard there won't be any 800 numbers. Is that true, or what's the outlook on that?
Well, there's a lot of speculation. I could go into great detail. Let's just say if 800 numbers were to go out, it would be, there'd be a mass. It could be a free for all. And then I've heard that it's just emails. You've got to answer. You got so much time. I mean, I've heard the whole gamut. We're not going to know until it happens.
Right.
That's why I go ahead.
So what's your advice for me? I just follow you on Twitter. That's about it. Would you notify? Would I be able to get a notification from you on Twitter, or?
If they give me something to put out there on the Twitter, absolutely. If I don't get anything to put out on Twitter, I can't put it out.
So how would I find out?
I don't know. If there are so many unknowns out there of how they want to do this, and they're keeping it hidden for a reason, to keep us guessing. So we just have to keep our ears open and remain flexible.
All right, Jay.
Okay.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
All righty. Thank you.
All right.
Houston, can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's up?
Not much.
Can you hear me? All right. Chew tobacco, speed.
Yeah, isn't that a good song?
Oh, yeah, that's a great song. Yeah, man, but the guy was talking about China. He got to understand, don't forget, once we all become one, the whole world, once the revalue comes, everybody will be equal. We're supposed to be equal.
That's what this is about.
Yeah, that's what the plan's supposed to be. And that's what we've been hearing. So
anything else?
I was going to ask you something else too about when they was talking about the 800 number. But I forgot, man. So go on to the next call.
All righty, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Well, we've just about reached an hour. We've had a lot of information. I think I want to wrap it up here. Nope, no more callers. I see people raising their hand. And my wingman isn't here. I'm feeling for him because I talked to him. He is not in good shape. Like he has a bad case of food poisoning. I had to hang up. I couldn't take it anymore. It was pretty bad. So hopefully here in the next day or two, he'll be right as rain for the 4th of July. So that being said, again, I can't stress enough, be flexible, relax, have a toddy, a cocktail, whatever you want. I think that we're not going to see anything until the 5th, but I would love for somebody to prove me wrong and show up beforehand. And again, there won't be a call on Monday, but there will be one on Tuesday at our regular call time. And so with that, let's all take a knee, and Pastor, will you take it away? If he's there, he's just got to probably unmute himself. Oh, Pastor, waiting on you there. Oh, Lord. I probably bored him to death. All right, well, I'll do it the old redneck fashion way. Lord, thank you for watching over us today. Give us an understanding heart and an ear to hear. Please give us your guidance. We don't ask for your guidance. We demand your guidance, because without your guidance and your protection and your discipline and your love for us, it is all over but the crying. When this money comes down, it's your money, and we just want your guidance. So I ask this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. So as I say to Iko, what's the last thing that we say? Goodbye.
The conference is now completed. Goodbye. Welcome to the conference.